Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank everybody for coming to DADA's event tax. Sorry about that, everybody. All right, here we go. Thank you, everybody, for coming to Henok's event. I would like to thank you, everybody, for coming. It's you could be anywhere else in the world right now, but you chose to be here with us. I really appreciate that. We're just about to start our event. Henok is going to give us the opening speech. I'm going to pass the microphone to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Welcome to DADA Tax event. Can you hear me?
Yes, no.
I'm Henok Gaito, the founder of DADA Tax Service. First of all, I would like to thank Almighty God in the name of His Son, Lord Jesus Christ, for keeping me, my family, and every one of us safe in these coronavirus times. DADA Tax Service was established in 2018. When I was starting, I was in a dilemma whether to take a franchise or to do it independently. I chose the latter, but it was not easy, as you can imagine. And as James Cash Penny, the CEO of JCPenney, said, it's always the start that requires the greatest effort. And after such an effort, here we are now, from start to work in progress. In setting up this small business, excuse me, I used the techniques and strategies I learned from my father. My father, he worked for the government back home for decades, and after Eritrean independence, he started his own mechanic shop. And he always tells me entrepreneurship requires patience and persistence, which I agree. In the United States, the economy is more of entrepreneurship. President Donald Trump said small businesses are the backbone of the economy. And according to the SBA reports, most of the small businesses are owned by immigrants like me. And these small businesses include accounting and tax offices like DADA Tax Service. As we all know, any business or profession has its own pros and cons. One thing in accounting, it keeps you up in the night. After her high school completion, my mother, she started working as an accounting clerk in the accounting department for the Eritrean Educational Ministry. And I remember while she was raising 7 kids, she had to bring her work when it's report closing to stay and work late night. Because in accounting, deadline matters. On a personal level, I started my career in banking and finance as a deposit officer, and then later on in a diplomatic mission as a deputy ambassador for the British Embassy. And in the last 8 years, since my accounting charter certification, I was engaged in accounting, payroll, and taxes. However, even though you think you have the qualifications that it takes, you cannot succeed in business without the support of the community. The writer Joan said, there is no community without a business, and there is no business without a community. While I appreciate the support that I have been receiving from the community, in return, I always strive to update myself and develop and deliver quality service to my clients. And this event is part of my effort to support the community. I was fortunate enough to meet WFG's Mary and these wonderful speakers, Robert and Raquel, to give us and share us their expertise on the financial side. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank my father and my mother, who should be watching this live, for their crucial role in my education, career path, my confidence level in everything. I believe I am work in progress, but he said, you are proud of me, and I am who I am because of you. I also thank all my siblings, especially my big brother Daniel and his wife Nardi, for everything since my day one in this country. My thanks also go to all my family members, friends, colleagues, my former mentors, particularly financial manager Samuel Mahari, Ambassador David Ward, tax expert Raja Garwal, and my former CFO Joseph Nasrawi. Last but not least, thank you to you, my clients, and my clients to be in the coming tax season. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Enoch. Well, first I'd like to say about our father. I mean, you did take his advice, but not fully, because he wanted him to be a mechanic first. And I don't know, for some reason he chose accounting. But however, me and my older brother, and there's another one, we took his advice. We were all mechanics. So I disagree with that with you. Yeah. Guys, please help yourselves with some refreshments. Don't be shy, don't be afraid. We have coffees, teas, whatever you like. Next up, we have Robert. That's gonna coach us about financial, come on, Robert, please. I personally need to pay attention on that because I really need some coaching with, on how to handle my money. So Robert, please do what you do.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm actually going to let the clerk speak first, and I'll get the slide ready.
All right. Good afternoon. Evening. Oh, thank you. The podium is competing with my height, so I'll stand over here. All right, good evening. Thank you, everyone. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Enoch for having us here to share some very powerful information with you. And thank you to Mary for introducing us, right? My name is Raquel Ramlal Slowinski. I've been in the financial industry for about 20 years. Prior to financial services, I was a college student. I was on my way to medical school. I was accepted to Johns Hopkins to go study medicine, and on my way there, and I was introduced to the financial services industry, and I thought, okay, I'll do it temporarily, learn how to make some money, and I'm out in 1 year. Well, I've been here for 20 years, and decided not to go to medical school, which for me was okay, because I decided I don't like blood and guts anyways, so that works out, right? But I really have the pleasure today to be able to share with you some of the information that we share. And of course, the financial industry is not new, but there's a lot new in the financial industry, right? As technology or healthcare or taxes, right? It's ever evolving. And so my husband and I today are just going to share with you some concepts to maybe help you start thinking about some things, and then we welcome you to ask any questions or anything like that. But before we get into the presentation, I want to do two things. First, I want to introduce my husband to you. He will be sharing with you the second half of the presentation. So I started in the business 20 years ago, met my husband 10 years ago, and so we've been working together for about the last 10 years or so. And together we have been able to really make a big impact in people's lives. In fact, we really have dedicated our lives to financial education, because one of the things that we realize is that people, all of us, probably all of you, were not born in this country, or most of you, like myself, right? We came here looking for a better opportunity, and we work very hard. We start to, have a job, a business, a career, something. We make good money, but a lot of times we have no idea really how money works. And so we just find ourselves working hard, saving money, and working hard and saving, but not necessarily getting to our financial goals. So today, the concepts that we'll be able to share with you are part of a financial education campaign that we have. And we actually teach 4 financial workshops, from literally budgeting and debt management, all the way to investments, insurance, all the way to estate planning. So literally from A to Z. We have taught our workshops at many churches, many businesses. We've taught our workshops last year. Last year we taught our workshops over 8 weeks at Columbia University in New York. In fact, they loved it so much that they wanted to make our information part of their curriculum. The year before that, we were privileged to be chosen by the FBI to share our workshops at the Washington field office of the FBI. And also, they were so happy with the information we shared, they then invited us to the Manassas field office. And that was 2018. Then in 2019, they invited us back to become part of their Citizens Academy, their 25th Citizens Academy, which is a collaborative effort from business owners in the community that are making a positive impact, and the FBI. So those are just some of the places we've shared this information. We usually, it takes us about 8 hours to do those workshops. We don't have 8 hours today, right? Unless you guys are planning to spend the night. So we're just understand that we're giving you a little tiny bit, but you know, you can always see us. We'll give you these information, how to attend the workshops. They're free of charge. Mary also has a ton of information, so we'll follow up, all right? I just feel like it's important to give you that preface since we're only going to snapshot a few topics for time today, okay? So we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you.
It's the IT guy that's always the issue.
My husband used to be in IT, right? Now he gets into finance and he forgot. Oh, well, I can keep talking, and I can keep talking. I know this stuff like in my sleep. Okay, so first of all, you know, one of the things that we want to make sure that you understand, one of the first important things, is that any information we shared with you today is not financial advice. Okay, we're just giving you concepts. What is actually best for you and your family really depends on your situation. All right. Then also, the next thing we're going to share with you is the way in which we should focus on our finances. You know, many people today, you know, if you look at the average person probably has a checking account, saving account, and a 401k. Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they work for the federal government, maybe they have a checking account, saving account, and a TSP. Or if they work for the hospital, they have a checking account, saving account, and a 403b. Because we know the bank and we know our job. And that's basically it. Would you agree, Hannah?
I agree 100%.
Yes. But there's more to the financial industry. And actually, there's a way to build our financial house. Just as in building a regular house, would you ever build a house and start with the roof first? No. Right? Where would you put the roof? And what if you build your house wrong? Then you have to it's just a mess. So when we are talking about finances, it's very similar to building a physical house. When we build a physical house, it's very important that we start from the ground up, build it right, and build it strong. Is that true? Yeah. If we don't plan our finances properly, it could be one emergency, one coronavirus, one death in the family, one family struggling, one neighborhood emergency that throws us off, right? And so when we are talking about building a strong financial foundation, we must build it the right way. So when we're building it, the most important thing, not the sexiest topic, by the way, but the most important thing is that we need to make sure that we have proper protection in place. What is protection? Does it mean I have to carry a gun or a knife or something? No, that's not what that means. In the financial world, it's making sure you have proper insurances. All right? And nobody loves to talk about insurance. Anybody here like to talk about insurance? No.
No, we don't.
But we all feel the pain if we don't have it and something happens, right? So really, in order to protect our investment, in order to think about it, when you buy a new house and you invite friends over for the housewarming, do you run downstairs and show them, say, look how strong the foundation is? No. You show them your nice kitchen, your nice patio, your whatever. But the fact is, if your foundation is not strong, it's only a matter of time until everything crumbles. So same way, we need to make sure our foundation is strong. We need to make sure that we have proper protection, life insurance, health insurance, long-term care, and disability, so that while we are building our wealth, if something were to happen, it doesn't all crumble and go to waste. The next thing is we need to make sure that we get a hold of debt. Not all debt is bad debt. There's actually good debt. Okay, there's good debt. And I think that's more of Hanuk's side of it, right? What you can write off, those kinds of things. But there is good debt. We want to make sure that you're building an emergency fund. If not, one coronavirus. I mean, there's like no better example to prove why it's so important to have an emergency fund. Normally we say 3 to 6 months. My goodness, I don't know. We've been in this pandemic for 9 months now, right? Going on 10 months maybe. Investment. Would you ever build a house and not put on a roof? Even I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, where it's nice and warm all the time, but you're going to still put on a roof, else you're going to have unwanted visitors living there with you. So they might be birds, they might be people. But we need to make sure that we're investing properly. And when we invest properly, you can take me to the next one. When we invest properly, it can be so intimidating. Investing can be intimidating, especially if you watch the news or you watch CNBC or Bloomberg TV or something. You think you have to understand all these ticker symbols and derivatives and Sharpe ratios and oh my gosh. You know what? We simplify it for you. We make your life easy. If you want to build wealth, you need to understand this formula. And if you really understand this formula, you can dissect any product, any financial product, and you will know whether it's truly building wealth for you or not. So the formula goes like this: money plus time. By the way, it didn't say a lot of money. I was sharing with a couple young ladies earlier that I started investing 23 years ago. Don't do the math on my age, okay? But I wasn't even 18 yet. I started putting aside $100 a month, which is, most financial people wouldn't even look in my direction with $100 a month. But because of what I learned in this company, I started putting it away in one of the best places ever to exist financially today, where I could be able to access my money income tax-free, penalty-free, question-free before I'm 59 and a half years old, right? So nobody said a lot of money, but you do need to start with something, right? Time, you got to put time on your side. You got to start early. So, I don't know, I can't change yesterday, but I can say start today. That's all, right? We need to understand something called rate of return. So my hubby is going to share with you more details on that, but that's extremely important. And don't be confused by big name companies. Sometimes we talk to people and they say, oh, I'm okay, I have my money at Fidelity. What does that mean? That means nothing. Because there are people who are losing money, staying the same, and gaining money at Fidelity. It doesn't mean anything, but we think because we're with a big name company means we're building wealth. No, not necessarily. You need to dig deeper and see what the rate of return is, right? And then you're able to know whether your money is really working for you. We need to earn more than the rate of inflation, and we need to minimize our taxation, and therefore we're able to build wealth. Why? Well, what does taxes have to do with building wealth? Well, at the end of the day, have you ever heard the saying, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep? It's not how much you build, it's how much you keep, right? So we will touch on those. At this point, I will turn it over to my husband to share with you the rest. Thank you guys so much for your time and having us.
Thank you, Raquel. It's so weird because nobody's on Zoom right now. It's wow, real people. Welcome. Thank you very much for having us today. We're very honored. My name is Robert Slowinski. I was actually in the United States Air Force for 11 and a half years. I owned a government contracting business, but because of this young lady, I sold that business back in 2013 so I could do this full time. I love what we do. We get to open people's eyes when it comes to their money. But more importantly, my own eyes get to be opened, right? So it's important that we understand. So Raquel was talking about the wealth formula. We're going to talk about something called the Rule of 72. How many of you have heard of the Rule of 72? Do you remember where you heard it? On a webinar. Do you remember what it is? Yes, you're very good. Yes, very good memory. So this is a rule, and if you don't know this rule, it's okay. But I will tell you, if you pay attention to anything in our presentation, this is the one thing you want to pay attention to. Because this is a financial concept that can literally make you or break you financially. Albert Einstein called this the greatest mathematical equation of all time. And I thought he was interested in hair and physics, but he was interested also in how quickly his money was going to grow. So let's say, for example, just for an example, you were going to save $1,000 today. Where would most people put $1,000? Savings, bank, right. Credit union. Do you know what your bank or credit union is paying you for your money today? 0? Very close, right? Very close. Actually, the national average for all brick and mortar banks, credit unions, money market accounts, and CDs is 0.25%. So what that means is it's going to take 4 years for you to earn 1% on your money. So if you have $1,000 and you're going to save it today you're going to use the Bank of Rob because it's Saturday and it's a beautiful day out, or beautiful night, and I'm a very generous bank, by the way. I'm going to give you 1% for your $1,000. How long will it take for your $1,000 to grow to $2,000? Any guesses? Now you could pull out the calculator and try to figure that out very quickly, or you can use the rule of 72, and it's a very simple concept. All you have to do is take that 1% or 1, divide it into 72, that's going to give you a number. That number is the number of years it will take for your money to double. So in 72 years, your $1,000 will grow to $2,000. So if you tack 72 years onto your age, are we going to be able to enjoy that money? I know medical science is getting better, but I don't think it's that good yet, right? If you're getting 2%, no one's going to throw a party for that. But think about it. 2 into 72 means it will double every 36 years. You get 4%, it's going to double every 18 years. You get 6%, it's going to double every 12 years. So what we're really trying to teach people is not where your money's at, because it doesn't matter. What matters is what are you getting for your money. So in this example here, we have an individual who's saving $10,000 in maybe the same exact account, but they're getting 3 different rates of return. 4%, 8%, 12%. At 4%, every 18 years it will double until there's 40 grand in there. Is that good? Is that good? I think that's good. That's pretty good. Think about it. The bank is giving me 0.25. If I had my $10,000 in the bank, guess what? In 288 years, it will be worth $20,000. At least here, I can still be maybe alive to enjoy that money, right? If I double that amount to 8%, now the same amount of money over the same period of time, I actually quadruple my output to $160,000. And if I can get 12%, well, now that money's going to double every 6 years. So at the same amount of money, same amount of time, I end up with $640,000. Now, out of these 3, which would you rather be? 12%, of course, right? That's always what we want. Are there any companies that are going to guarantee you a 12% rate of return today? No, not today. Can you get 12, 13, 14, 15% in accounts and without worrying about losing money? Yes, those accounts do exist. So we need to understand not only where we're saving our money, but what it's actually doing for us. How quickly is it going to double? Because this could determine whether or not I have a good retirement or I have a bad retirement. People are waking up every single day and they're missing $600,000 from their account because they just didn't look at it. They said, well, I'm putting money into my 401k and that's what I'm doing. I did that for years as well. But if I don't know what it's doing for me, that can be a serious problem, right? Because now I could be missing that money and I'm not even aware of it. You have 3 choices when it comes to your investments, when it comes to growth, right? You have fixed accounts, and those are going to be a fixed rate of return. You have your checking, your savings, you have bonds, CDs, fixed annuities. You're going to get maybe 3 to 4% if you're lucky. Not in CDs, but maybe in some of the other accounts. So that's not bad. It's very safe, right? Because we know what we're getting regardless of what happens in the market. If I have my money in the variable, this is where your money's in mutual funds, stocks, different bonds, variable annuities. Money goes up and down with the market. So you can gain, but you can also lose. About 15, 17 years ago, they came up with something called index strategies. And what index strategies do is they combine the safety of your fixed account with the growth potential of your variable. So now, if I want a rounded, well-rounded portfolio, I have my checking and savings account because that's what I need. I have my 401k because it's offered by my company. It's a smart tax move right now. And if they match, that's an even better move. But if I can have money that only goes up and never goes down in an index strategy, that can be very powerful. Because now when the market goes up, I can capture some of those gains, but I don't have to give them back. they are mine forever. So you want to make sure you have each one of these in your portfolio. Now we're going to touch on a little something that, yeah, see, I'm always getting nervous when I talk in front of tax professionals. But anyways, Uncle Sam lives in 3 places. When we come to you about taxes, we're talking about the gains. Your principal will always be taxed, true or false? Right, there's really not a whole lot you can do. So the money you're saving today, you have to pay taxes on it either now, later, or what we like to call tax never. So you do have a choice with your gains on whether or not you pay taxes. If I save my money here in the tax now, I pay taxes on the gains every single year. Whether I get the money or I don't get the money, I got to pay Uncle Sam. He's my silent partner in life, right? And he loves us a lot, by the way. Tax later, you do not pay taxes on the money you put into your retirement account today. But let's say I put $10,000 into my 401k or an IRA, I don't pay taxes on it now. When it grows to $640,000, I have to pay taxes on the entire $640,000. So the question is, are there other choices? Yes, you have tax advantage, which is where your Roth IRAs are at, 529s, muni bonds, HSAs, life insurance with cash value. You put that $10,000 here, you have to pay taxes on the $10,000 today. But when it grows to $640,000, as long as you follow the rules of the account, you will pay 0 in taxes legally. So the question is, would you rather pay taxes on $10,000 or $640,000? You want to pay it on the smaller number, the seed, not the tree, right? So we have to know where our money's at, what it's doing for us, and who has access to it. Does Uncle Sam access the gains, or do they never access the gains? So when it comes to a financial plan and making sure all your finances are taken care of, there's actually one very important thing that you want to always have included, and that is your estate plan. Do you have a will? Do you have a trust? Do you need a trust? Do you have powers of attorney? Do you have your medical directives? And even if you do not have a lot of assets, this is still very important documentation, because if you're incapacitated today, let's say, God forbid, you know somebody or yourself, you get hit with COVID, you're in a coma, who's paying your bills? Who's paying your mortgage? The last thing you want to have happen is you get out of the hospital, 6 months later, 8 months later, you go to your home and there's somebody else there. Why? Mortgage wasn't paid, electric wasn't paid. They're going to just take your house at some point, right? So you need to have important pieces of documentation, and it's called your estate plan, whether you have a lot of assets or very few assets. More importantly, the assets you do have, if you include the federal government or state government or local government in your assets when you pass, you're going to lose about 30%. So the last thing you want to have happen is all of your assets you've worked very hard for to pass to your next generation or whoever your beneficiaries are, you want to keep the governments out of it by having a properly set up estate plan so that it doesn't go through probate. It doesn't go through the court system. It goes directly to who you want it to go to. So when we're talking about a financial plan, number one, we want to keep it very simple. Don't get confused with a lot of the information that's out there. A lot of your finances, it can be simplified. I know when I used to watch the news and I would see that ticker flying across, and I thought, that's just so confusing. I'm not even going to pay attention to it. I'll just throw money at it and hopefully it'll work out in the end. No, we want to keep things very simple. Don't get too emotional with your investments. That's very important. I know right now it's a very scary time. We're still not sure who's going to end up in the White House. We're still not sure what's going to happen with COVID. There's a lot of unknown, and that includes our money. So now is not the time to get emotional. In fact, when the markets are down, that's when you want to get in, not when you want to get out, right? Because we know that it's going to go back up. Understand your own personal risk tolerance. Are you concerned about losing money? Are you concerned about not losing money? Maybe you have a completely different view on money. That's fine, but look at your portfolio. Do I have money in fixed? Do I have money in variable? Do I have money in index? So you have a well-rounded portfolio. Have a reasonable expectations. If you save $10 a month, don't expect to be a millionaire tomorrow. You know, a lot of people come to us sometimes and they'll say, Oh, I've got 20,000 and I want to invest it and I want to retire in 2 years. Well, what other money do you have? I don't have any other money. Well, we have to have a reasonable expectation for that money. But can everybody be wealthy and financially independent? We believe they can. It is possible for every single person. What they need is a plan. What they need is an understanding of that plan and proper execution of that plan. And number 5 is get educated. Whether for yourself, for your family, for your neighbors, for your friends, learn about money. For 40 years, wow, did I say 40 years? 40 years, I worked hard, I saved a lot of money, but I will tell you I had no clue what my money was doing for me. I was operating my finances on information that was 40 years old because that's the advice my dad gave me. Work hard, find a good company, and it'll all work out in the end. No, you need to take an active role in your finances. The financial industry changes just as fast as any other. So if you're operating your finances on information that's outdated, it's time to get that updated so you know exactly what's going on with your money. It is your money. You are concerned about it. We want to make sure we can help. So this is our contact information. If you need to reach out to us, you have a question, we are here to help. Right? So that's really what we are here to do. So I want to thank Donna for inviting us out. We appreciate it. We're very honored. We're happy to be here. I love being in front of a group. It's so weird. For the last 6 months, we've been seeing Zooms and Zooms, and now we have a group of people. I love it. So I miss people. I'm glad you're here. Thank you all very much. Have a safe weekend. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Wow, amazing, amazing, Robert. I took away 2 things from this. I have a personal problem where I spend my money on eating out and clubs. I mean, you didn't say nothing about that, but so I don't know what to do.
Oh, we do in our classes, trust me.
Right. All right, next up we got Henok that's going to give us some tax and tips on taxes.
Just check the address. We'll take it right there. The hotel is right there by the street. On the street. And the street here. There you should go right there. The hotel is good. Yeah, it is.
Also, guys, please help yourselves with some refreshments. The candies, you can take them away to your nephews, your kids, or I know my brother's gonna take some. Not all of it, just some.
right.